Hello and welcome to the NFocus Training and Demonstration video series. My name is Jeff Watson and I'm a Program Coordinator with the Research, Planning, and Evaluation Unit of the Department of Health and Human Services. As always, after you watch the video, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please contact us at dhhs.cqi@nebraska.gov. The Nebraska Caregiver's Responsibility Tool is now available to be completed in an entirely web-based application. As a reminder, the purpose of the Nebraska Caregiver's Responsibility Tool, or NCR for short, is to determine the rate at which a foster parent is reimbursed for the care of a child placed in their home. The NCR assessment must be completed by no later than 30 days after the child's initial placement or within 24 hours of a placement change. This InFocus update, including the NCR Web Application, will be released on December 10th, 2017. In this training, we'll be demonstrating the NCR Web Application on both a desktop and mobile format, as well as revisiting the policy requirements surrounding the NCR. We will also demonstrate how to add a bookmark to your mobile phone's home screen so you can easily access the NCR while out in the field. The NCR web-based application won't be replacing your ability to do the NCR in InFocus, so any work done on the NCR web tool will be directly transferred in InFocus so you can review it or approve it at a later date. The goal of this training is to educate the CFS staff about a new, more efficient way of completing the required NCR assessment when a child is placed into foster care or changes placements. At the end of the video demonstration, our goal would be that the CFS staff should be able to effectively access the NCR tool from their desktop computers or any mobile device while they're out in the field. We are now going to jump over to our Internet Explorer window where we can go ahead and pull up the NCR web page. We'll take a look at how to complete the actual NCR assessment on there before jumping into a mobile version of the NCR tool. Alright, so we are back with our Internet Explorer window open. I'll go ahead and put on the screen the actual web address that you'll need to use to get into the NCR web application. It's going to be right there on your screen there. It'll also be included in a link, or you can copy and paste it for any sort of training materials that are provided with this training. So you should have access to the link. If not, just copy it down from what you see on the screen there. So this is our login screen. As soon as you type in the web address, you'll get to this screen here. It'll look a little different on the mobile site. We'll cover that in just a few minutes. But this is the desktop site where you're actually going to be doing it on your desktop computer. That's what it'll look like here. So your user ID and password are just going to be your straight InFocus user ID and password. Whatever you use to sign on to InFocus, that's what you'll use to sign on to the NCR web application here. So for me, I'm going to be actually on the testing site, so it'll be a little bit different for me, but you'll just use your normal InFocus logon and password to sign in here. So when you log on, you'll come to this child search page. You can either search by master case or by child name. When you search by master case, you'll need the master case number of that family, and it'll pull up all the children in an out-of-home placement in that master case. If you search by child name, and I'll show you this in a second, you can search for partial names like on InFocus, but it'll only give you that child and any NCRs completed on that child. So for master case, we'll just do an example. I have a test master case here to demonstrate. So there we go. So in master case 831, we can go ahead and look at this screen on the Children in Active CFS Cases screen. It lists the 3 children in this case. They're all in out-of-home placements. It gives their date of birth, the correct master case, and the caregiver name. If we click on New Search, it takes us right back to the child search page. If we search by child name, we'll do Ruby, and you can, just like on InFocus, you can select partial, exact, or sounds like. And if I search for Ruby, who is one of the kids in that master case, it'll just pull up Ruby from that master case. So it's important to double check here that your caregiver name is correct. This does pull from InFocus, but it is going to be tied to agency and payments and things like that. So you do want to double check that the caregiver name that shows up here on these screens is accurate. And then in this screen, clicking on any of the child's names will take you to all of the available NCRs for that child. You can see past ones, ones that are waiting to be completed, ones in draft status, so you can see all of that information. So let's go back to New Search. We'll go back into Master Case, and I want to go to the 831 Master Case where we were. I want to look at Ruby's NCRs, all the ones that are done for the child named Ruby. So if we click on Ruby, it takes us to all of the NCRs for Ruby Hansen in Master Case 831. Gives us the date. The page is organized by date of the NCR, the type of the NCR, the status, what's the status of that current assessment, the caregivers, the ID assessment number, and then over here is your view buttons, or you can update the status of the Nebraska Caregivers Responsibility Form. You aren't able to create a new NCR while you have one in draft status. So in order to create a new one, you'd have to update this one into final status, but we just wanted to show you what that looks like at this point. So if we go back to Child List, this Child List button takes you right back to the list of all the children in that master case. We're going to go ahead and jump into the Lucy Hansen Lucy Hansen NCR. So if we click on Lucy Hansen, you'll see that she has, looks like 5 final assessments, and now you have a new, an Add New button over here on the left where you can add a new type of NCR. So if you click on Add New, say that she did move placements, or this is the initial placement for Lucy. Sometimes you won't have anything listed here. If this is the very first placement, you're coming in to do the NCR, you won't have anything listed here for your child. You'll have to have her an out-of-home placement on InFocus for her to be able to show up in this system. But if we come in here, say we're doing this with the family, we come in here and we're going to go ahead and walk through how to add a new NCR as well as how to update the status into ready for review and final status. So clicking on Add New, this takes us directly into the NCR form. Up here at the top, you can see the child's name, the date of birth, the master case number that you're in. Currently we're having draft assessment, so you can see the status there. Over on the right, you can see the caregiver name. Again, double check to make sure that's the correct caregivers who it should be on InFocus. Completed by, this will normally show your name there, or your InFocus logon when you're doing it. And then the level of parenting is currently blank, but it will be auto-populated when you complete the assessment. So you'll go ahead and add in the date that you're completing the assessment. Go ahead and select the type of assessment you're doing, and you can go ahead and look at the types available here for an initial placement. You can do a reassessment, request of foster parent, request of the agency or department, request of placement, or change of placement, permanency plan change, change of child circumstance, or reassessment, which is a change in age bracket. So for this one, for our demonstration, we're just going to go ahead and pick initial. This is the first time. This box right here under persons present for the NCR is very important to fill out who was all present when you completed the Nebraska Caregiver Responsibility tool. You should include who all was there. Was there a representative of the agency, the foster parents, or the parents potentially could be there. And this is something why this app was developed, so you could do this in conjunction in a team meeting or something while you're meeting with the family. So doing this on your phone, or for example, is a good way to do this. You'll document who was actually present for the NCR assessment. So from there, you go ahead and fill out all the levels of care, 1 through 8. Very simple system, very similar to InFocus as well. You have a Save and Next button down here, which will take you to the next one. These definition buttons, you can go ahead and click on them and they'll pop open a definition to show what the first level of care is. Okay, take a look at that one for the medical and physical health and well-being. Same for the level 2, same the definition for level 3. So you can actually get quite specific with the definitions there. Remember, just as on InFocus, if you do select a level 2 or level 3, you'll need to add a narrative to support your score. So for example, we're going to say on the medical and physical health and well-being of the child, we'll pick level 2. It's going to pop open a comment box. Now this is going to require us to type something in here in order to save and next. If we don't, you'll see an error pop up. I'm going to add some text into this one as well. So let's show what that looks like. If I leave this off and it's save and next, it's going to say please fill in this field. But if I click on level 1, the comment box will still open up, but you don't have to add a comment for level 1, just as on InFocus. So clicking Save and Next takes you to the next level of care. You can see a check mark appeared right here on the left to show that that level of care is done. So level of care 2, we'll go ahead and pick a level 3 just so we can type a comment on this one, and then it should let me save and next. So I'm just going to go through the rest of these real quick, and we'll go ahead and enter all of them. We'll just pick level 1s for all of the rest of the levels of care. And it is good to support all this information with comments about why you're scoring things the way you are. It's very, especially for level 2s and 3s, but even level 1s, including documentation down to the common areas, is very good practice, and it helps just support why things are scored that way. Okay, so I clicked the score there for the level of care 8, and up here at the level of parenting, it just created the essential level of care, which is exactly what we'd expect from how I scored it. Save and next. Now you can see that all these are check marked across the bottom here. They're all complete. They're all ready to go. The level of, again, the level of parenting is also populated to essential. You can see that up at the top. And now you can update the status into ready for review. So very simple up here. This wasn't here before, this status update option. It doesn't appear until you complete all the levels of care. But now that you have it available, you can go ahead and click status update, kick it into ready for review. This takes you back to the screen here that we were at, the NCRs for Lucy Hansen screen. And you can see that this one is currently in ready for review. It's not in draft or anything like that. If at any point you did have to exit, you can click those save buttons that were up in the top here on the final screen or on the previous screen, and then it'll save it. That information will be transferred to InFocus in a little bit of time, 30 to 45 minutes it takes for it to transfer to InFocus. Then it'll still show draft there. But since I updated this one to ready for review, you can come to this screen, go ahead and click update one more time, go into status update, and go ahead and boom, right there into final. And you'll see that now we have another initial NCR for Lucy Hansen complete and final. Everything you've done here at this point will be uploaded into InFocus. It'll appear on InFocus the next time you get back into your computer. And it'll be ready for you to go as soon as you get back. You can review it then, print out any copies you need. It'll be just as though it was done on InFocus. You're just able to do this from the mobile or from the desktop version. The next thing we're going to demonstrate is the mobile version of this. It's a very similar process. It just looks a little different. It'll show up how it'll appear on like your mobile phone screen. So we just wanted to demonstrate what that looks like, and we'll be right back with that. All right, so we're back with a demonstration of the mobile version of the NCR app. So this is what it will look like on a mobile phone screen. Imagine in the middle of my desktop here is your Galaxy S5 or any type of other Android device. This is what the app will look like. Very, very similar in usage. It's just a very kind of touchscreen responsive type of application. So you'll see as we go through this. I'm going to log in the same way. Again, it's just going to be your InFocus username and password. And obviously your phone keyboard will come up and everything here when you're doing it. My cursor looks a little bit different, as you can see here, because it's simulating where you would touch on your phone screen. So in the same kind of demonstrations we did last time, I'm going to click on master case, and we're going to search for the same master case. Search. And then you can see the 3 children that we had in out-of-home care in this master case. We're going to go ahead and click on Lucy Hansen again. Looking here, we can see all the NCRs that are available for Lucy Hansen. Now, just as you would expect on a phone, it is kind of a touch and drag type system where you can look that way. There's no really scroll bar on the right anymore. It's just kind of a touch and drag as you view down and everything like that. Since we finalized the one that we just did for Lucy, we can go ahead and create a new one up at the top here. If this is your first time doing one for a child, you won't have any of these NCRs there. You can just kind of go and start a new one, but we'll go ahead and go through the whole process again really quick. So we'll click on Add New. Just as before, on the desktop version, you can see all the same information: child name, date of birth, master case. Again, double checking that caregiver is very important. Completed by will show your name, your InFocus name. Currently it's in draft. Level of parenting is blank. The date that we're going to select, let's see, I'll just pick a different date. Let's go with the 20th. My test site is built on the 17th of November, so that's what we're going to pick. And we're going to select an initial NCR again. For the persons present for the NCR, remember to document who was actually there, who participated in providing info for the NCR, and everything like that. So scrolling down, you'll see the levels of care 1 for the medical and physical health and well-being of the child. You can go ahead and select which one you want. If I pick L1, it pops up here with everything. You can go ahead and click the definition again. It gives you a quick pop-up on your phone about what the definition is for L1. Just as on the web app and the NFocus version, if you pick level 2 or 3, it does make you write a comment. So let's see what it looks like here if I try to save and next without writing a comment. It's going to give you a little pop-up that says please fill in this field. So text. So we'll save and next, and it'll kick me on over to levels of care 2. This button up at the top I should demonstrate. You've probably seen it on different apps before, but it's just a quick way to jump through all your levels of care while you're on a mobile site. So you can quickly go through that. You see the check mark indicating that levels of care 1 was done. So we'll come back down here. Let's pick 1 for the next one. Save and next. And you'll just be tapping these on your phone. Very simple. Again, the comment box does pop up every time you select. Doesn't matter if you select L1, L2, or L3. It is important to document your rationale. For selecting, especially L2 and 3, it's required. But for level 1, document your rationale on this point. That's important as well. So we'll keep just selecting 1 to make it easy on us. Level of care 7 and level of care 8. So at this point, they're all entered there. Level of parenting did, on this one for whatever reason, did get moved to enhanced, probably because of what I picked on level of care 1. I picked a level 2 here. So it is enhanced parenting. That would be the rate that the foster parent gets paid at. So once you're all done with this point, you have everything filled in, you can go ahead and click on status update or tap on it through your phone. It'll say ready for review. And you tap on it again, and then it kicks it down here. Because I have 2 final ones already, normally the date would be more towards today's date, but since we're just doing it with 11/17 as my test site, that's where it'll appear. So if we want to update this one into final status, this says ready for review. If we want to update it into final, we'll go ahead and click update, status update, final. There you go. It kicks it over into the final. Just like on the website or this version or a tablet version, whatever device you do this on, it'll all be uploaded to NFocus in a very short amount of time. You can go review your work on NFocus, make sure it's all there. If you want to come back and leave it in ready for review status and type in more before you kick it into final status, you're able to do that as well. But using this as the mobile version is supposed to be a much more efficient way of completing these NCRs while you're out in the field with the family. The next thing we're going to talk about is showing you through just some screenshots of how to add this bookmark to your home page on your phone screen. So you can go ahead and just scroll through it. You can add a bookmark to the website. You don't have to type in the website every time. So we'll go ahead and show you how to do that next. So this is a screenshot of what it will look like when you pull open the NCR app on your phone. If you want to add this to your home page or add it to one of your pages on your phone or one of your screens on your phone, if you go ahead and click on these 3 little dots up in the right side, and it should open now this is in Chrome on your phone, which should be your default web browser. If you click on those 3 little dots, it should open this window right here, and it should look just like this. And then you can click this link right here called Add to Home Screen, and it'll create a little bookmark for you on your home screen. And that way you won't have to type in the web address every single time you want to access the NCR Web Application. You just click the button there, and that's what it'll look like. All right, in closing, we want to just cover a few topics just for you and your agency so that they can understand the new process. CFS specialists should no longer backdate any NCR assessments, as payments will be made using the finalized date of the NCR. As soon as your NCR is set into final status, an NFocus work task is created and sent to your IMFC team to authorize the service. And finally, agencies will have the ability to view the payment rate for each youth from the billing portal or from a mailed authorization, whichever choice best meets their needs. Their CMRD can provide them with guidance on the selection process. In summary, in this video we discussed the NCR web-based application, Workers are now able to efficiently access the NCR tool and complete it on any mobile device. Your service areas should have been given tablets that are available for you to check out if you want to take a tablet and do the NCR web-based application. Again, it'll look very similar to the mobile site version. We hope you find these changes helpful. We look forward to doing more types of these mobile applications in the future if this goes well. If you have any other suggestions or comments, be sure to let us know at that email address at the beginning of the video. It's dhhs.cqi@nebraska.gov. Thank you.